Okay, this is on 2.9, lining up quadratics. Real similar to what we're going to have on the test in that it kind of encompasses everything that we've been doing, all the vocab, and that good stuff. So graph each function and find the vertex, the y-intercept, and the x-intercepts. Be sure to properly write the intercepts as points. Okay, so for number one, let's make an x-axis. And let's make a y-axis. And we need to start thinking about where this parabola is going to cross the x-axis. So basically we need to know what its x-intercepts are. So like we talked about in the beginning of class, how are we going to make this y 0? Because when y is 0, we've essentially found the x-intercepts. So the answer for that would be, well, we could make this 1, and then 1 minus 1 is 0, and then 0 times anything in the world is going to be 0. So we know that one of the x-intercepts is equal to 1. The other one would be equal to negative 3. So that would be that would be right here. So these are the roots of the parabola, and the x-intercepts are 1 and negative 3. Okay, what to do now? We need to get the line of symmetry, which you could probably get from this, and we need to get the vertex. Oh wow! And we need to get the y-intercept. So when doing that, there's a few different ways to do it. I would probably FOIL.
At this time, all 6th graders must go to their core classes. 7th and 8th stay in the cafeteria.
Okay, that tells me
please proceed immediately
that the y-intercept is going to be negative 3. Let me just double check that because that's not looking correct. No, it is. It is negative 3 because we know that C is the y-intercept, and we have it now in standard form where it's easy to spot the y-intercept. So we have that right there. We have our x-intercepts, and then you could follow it down, and you can see that the vertex is probably going to be in here. But to exactly calculate that, again, a few ways to do it. I would probably use the little formula I told you in the beginning of the year, negative b over 2a. So negative b would be, here's b, negative 2 over 2a, which would be 2 times 1, which would be 2, which is equal to negative 1 for the x value. So let's see, we have a y-intercept of negative 3, and we got a vertex of negative 1. I'll move it in there a bit for you guys. Negative 1 comma something. So the question is, if we go over 1, how far down do we need to go to get to the vertex? So just to be sure that we have the right answer, I'm going to plug negative 1 into the equation. I could plug it into this, or I could plug it into this, and either way it's going to give me the same thing. So let's just plug it into factored form, so negative 1 minus 1 times negative 1 plus 3, and this is going to equal negative 2 times 2, and sure enough, like we kind of suspected, the y value is negative 4. So here is our parabola, and its vertex is negative 1, negative 4, and if that's true, the axis of symmetry is going to run right through here, where basically the graph is equal to x equals negative 1. So you saw me go back and forth there a little bit between factored form and standard form to get all of the necessary things. So when the video's over, that's what you got to do for 2. That's what you got to do for 3. This is going to just tell you how to solve these kinds of problems. And then when you get down to number 5, it's going to have you choose any two linear functions. and write them kind of in a strange form that you're not used to. Don't worry about that. Where m is the slope of the line. Graph the two functions. I'm going to suggest that you guys use y equals 1/2 x plus 2, y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Now when you do that, what you need to know is that this one, yeah, no, that's good. So on the same graph as number 5, graph the function of p of x. That is the product of two linear functions that you've chosen. So p of x is going to equal the first one times the second one. And then you're going to have a lot to do comparing the three of these graphs in these next few questions. So go ahead and work your way through that. It gets a little tough down in here, but really stick with it. And let me just look through this and make sure that there's nothing else you really need to know before going forward. I think from there you should be good. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions.